Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel. My name is Tanner Bell, the founder here at makersgonnalearn.com. And today's video, we have an incredible hack for you, layering vinyl with parchment paper. You may have seen in our TikTok hacks exposed video, we used parchment paper to make sure we are able to position our decal exactly where we wanted it onto a tumbler. But today I figured if we could use the same technique to layer vinyl, we could use and save a ton of time using this technique and help us throughout the way with every step of the way. So if you guys are excited, today is going to be such a great day sharing with you exactly how you can use parchment paper for layering your projects and then applying it onto your surface. So today we're working with a Be Happy cut file that is multi-layer. We're working with like 5 different layers today, 5 different colors that sometimes can be very challenging. So I think you're going to really enjoy seeing how I practically use this technique to master being able to layer it up and make sure it's perfect. And then to finish off, we will continue using the parchment paper to center it onto our sign here. So it's going to be very handy. I think you're going to enjoy this hack. So before we get into it, I want to make sure that you gave the video a thumbs up. Go down there, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button to make sure you're not missing out on any of our brand new uploads, and be sure to check out our membership community linked down below. Makers Gonna Learn is the #1 place to find everything you need to master your Cricut, get access to thousands of cut files, hundreds of fonts, and our year members have access to our free commercial license where you're actually able to make money from your cut files. It's crazy. So I think you're going to really enjoy it, but let's go ahead and jump into today's project. All right, my friends, here's what we've got working for our project today. When I'm layering any type of vinyl, I want to take the largest base layer. In today's example, we have 2 colors. That is our base layer, and that is our rainbow. That is our largest little color, and then our Be Happy. So I went ahead and positioned this on the mat, and I've already cut out all our layers today. So as you can see, we have a couple layers and they kind of go like this. So this technique is going to help us position each of these colors as we pick them up using our transfer tape. So for today's project, you're going to need a multi-layer cut file. Be sure to check out makersgonnalearn.com for thousands of cut files. So much goodness there. You're going to go ahead and cut those out. If you need tips and tricks on weeding, cutting vinyl, check out some of our other videos because we have great tutorials on how to do that. Next up, you're going to need a piece of transfer tape. I'm using Cricut regular transfer tape, which is fantastic. It's great for something like this where we're layering and we're picking up a lot of layers. I like to use this, and that's why we keep it on hand. And for today's hack, guys, head to the kitchen, grab your parchment paper. You do not want to miss out on this hack. It's mind-blowing. Courtney and I have been using it on multiple projects recently, and we've had great success every single time. Now, last but not least, you're going to need something to apply this to. And today we're using this little sign. We picked it up from Hobby Lobby. It is a wood circle sign with white background. Definitely check this out in the wood pile there, and definitely use a coupon. Who does not want to get that savings? I know I do. And it's 15 by 15. So that's fantastic. And you have that right there. So let's go ahead and jump into today's project. Step 1 is grabbing our first layer with our transfer tape. So let's go ahead and peel back our transfer tape. And we are going to take this and apply it onto this layer right here. So notice I'm using the taco method where I start in the middle, up top, and slowly go to each side. That is very intentional. Now I will burnish and make sure it's applied. This is very intentional to make sure no air bubbles arise in our project. If you have air bubbles because you're trying to lay it flat, that will occur, but this technique allows you to do that without any issue whatsoever. So let's apply this. Notice I'm going with gravity here, removing our background just like so. All right, so I have my 2 layers of vinyl. I'm just going to go ahead and burnish these again. Notice I'm going with gravity, helping me very much in the process. And now we can take this and peel it back. And now we can take this and peel it back as well. Notice how flawless that Cricut transfer tape worked. It's very intentional. I definitely think Cricut transfer tape is a win in my book. Now I like to sit my layer I just peeled up to the side. I sometimes stick it to the side of my table. I just make sure it does not stick together. So now I'm grabbing my next layer, and what I'm doing is I'm using the mat. I'm applying an excess piece of vinyl just so that my transfer tape does not get stuck to the mat, and then I'm applying this right here down. So that's going to be applied down, and now it's time to grab our parchment paper. Okay, my friends, so I have my piece of parchment paper laid out right here, and now the secret is to allow just a little bit of room at the top of our parchment to be sticky. So notice right here, this part is sticky. So look what happens when I'm able to line this up exactly where I need it, and I'm able to see, oh, okay, like I need to move this over. Like, wow, this is very helpful so that I can see everything. So once I'm happy, I can stick this down just like so. I can pull back here, and I can actually start peeling back the parchment paper very easily, just like so, and adding our next layer onto our transfer tape. So I may not even go down to the Be Happy layer because that's not necessary for today's project. We're working with a really unique cut file. So now I can take this and flip it around back and just peel this back. So now you see we've been able to use this technique, and we have both layers now picked up. So I can lay this back down, I can peel this up, and you see I've now added the second layer, and it's right where it's supposed to be. So now I'm going to go to my mat, I'm going to peel up this piece, and I think the mat plays a very crucial role in this technique. And here's why. When you use the mat, you're making sure this is going to not go anywhere, and it's very helpful in the process. So now you grab this right here, you see where it goes, you're able to apply the transfer tape down, and what you're going to do and see here is when you peel this back very quickly, you're going to get into a groove where you're able to pick this layer up very quick, very easy, and then flip it over, peel this back, and you're going to be able to peel this back just like so and have this layer ready to go. So now you're going to lay this back down and look at it now. Are you guys picking up when I'm sitting down? Do you see how the parchment paper is allowing us to layer this so well? Now all we need to do is take this layer right here, place it onto the mat, and now what we're going to do is we are actually, you know what guys, I think this will work better. I think if we move this up, I'm wanting to protect the mat as much as possible for my other layers. I don't want it to get stuck down. So we're gonna do this right here. So it's gonna stick down, it's gonna be really great. So we'll align this here. We'll position where that goes. Just like so. Take this down again, right here up at the top. Make sure not to move your mat around like I just did. And now you can peel back the parchment, pick this last layer up, burnish. Sometimes you burnish with your finger, however you want. And now we're going to peel it back. And you're going to see now you have all your layers right here ready to go. So as I get it ready, I'm going to take my parchment paper. Again, this one sheet of parchment paper has allowed us to get all of these layers up and ready to go. Now I'm bringing in my board. Now again, the parchment paper is going to allow us to make sure we're happy with all the placement. And what I love is it can actually sit on our table while we prepare our work surface. Now, if you're part of Maker's Gonna Learn for a while, you know rubbing alcohol on every surface to make sure you're getting the proper application. So we're gonna take this and clean off our surface, and we're gonna let this dry really quickly. I like to put the rubbing alcohol in a pump bottle, and it's very helpful just to make sure we have a clean surface. Once it's dry and ready to go, you can pick up your parchment paper transfer. You can move it around, you can make sure you're happy with it, you can center it, and then again, follow that same process. You push down, you give a little, so it tapes it down. Now we're going to slightly peel the parchment back. And it might tear a little, you wanna just make sure you're getting all the parchment back. Round surfaces I found is probably the hardest, so I love that I'm doing it for a video. So now that we are pulling the parchment paper back, you guys can see we're pulling it with one hand, and then here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna burnish with the other. So you can see we're just gonna burnish as we pull. This is a really easy way to use the parchment paper hack. Look at that, my friends. We did not have to manually position each layer. There's none of that hard work. We're just now able to burnish, burnish, burnish. And since we use the rubbing alcohol, look at this. We're now peeling back our transfer tape. And this transfer tape is so strong, like I could keep it and use it for another project or two after we have applied it for so many layers. Love that. Look at today's project, my friends. Look at this new technique you learned. Like if you're anything like me, you may be like someone that's like, Tanner, I would never have attempted this project without this hack. Like for me, this is a huge hack that I'm so excited you're ready to try. What in this world, guys? We use this with parchment paper. Like the parchment paper is the true showstopper for today's technique. I hope you enjoyed watching me pick it up from the first two colors and adding each color. If you are stuck with this technique and you're like, Tanner, I'm not exactly sure how I need to do it, my friend, I want to encourage you, please watch the video again. Rewind, watch from how I pick up that first layer and notice a few things. I want to make sure you notice how I worked with the mat. Notice how I used excess backings of vinyl to protect my mat from my vinyl. Those hacks are what is really going to allow you to have success every single time. Those are the things that we've tested, tried, and true to pick up each of these layers and have fantastic results with this. This is something that is going to inspire you to challenge yourself, to go harder, to use more colors, to layer more often. And you could do this whether it's a image like this where the colors just line up next to each other, or it could actually layer on top of each other where you have to be even more precise. That's where this technique in the parchment paper is truly going to shine. I want to encourage all of you to go ahead and take advantage of this hack. Go try it. Let me know if you are in the Makers Learn community. Post what you did in the group, whether you're using this hack to position something on a Starbucks tumbler, make a project like this one, no matter what, I think you're going to really enjoy it. Now, my friends, I've had so much fun crafting with you today, so I want to remind you to give the video a thumbs up if you learned something today. And also hit the subscribe button for more Cricut videos coming at you every single week. We also have some great live streams. So hit the bell icon down below. You do not want to miss out. And be sure to grab a membership to Makers Gonna Learn if you haven't already. I cannot wait to see you back here in the next video. So talk soon. Bye guys.